You have been chosen as a master in the Holy Grail War. Pick a number between 1 and 7. The number you choose determines the servant you will summon. There are 7 servant classes: Saber, Archer, Lancer, Rider, Caster, Berserker, Assassin. Each servant is a legendary hero reborn, powerful, cunning, and bound by the rules of the war. Watch as each servant is revealed. Take note of the one tied to your number. That is your servant, your ally, and your weapon. Once all 7 are known, your strategy begins. How will you win the Holy Grail War? Who are your greatest threats? Will you fight alone or forge alliances? Use your servant's strengths, class matchups, and battlefield tactics to carve your path to victory. Now prepare yourself. The Holy Grail War begins.
Holy Grail. Holy Grail. Holy Grail.
Berserker. Going by the alias Darth Vader, this servant's true name is Anakin Skywalker. He has been summoned into the Holy Grail War under the Berserker class. Once hailed as the chosen one of the Jedi prophecy, Anakin Skywalker fell to the dark side in a desperate attempt to protect those he loved. His transformation shattered the Jedi Order and gave rise to the Galactic Empire. Burned on Mustafar, left broken in both body and spirit, he was rebuilt not as a man, but as a symbol of fear. Now, armored in obsidian and silence, Vader is no longer a person. He is the ghost of a fallen hero. He enters the Holy Grail War not to seek forgiveness, but to rewrite the moment everything was lost. In his mind, if he had been stronger, faster, more decisive, he could have saved Padme. He could have stopped Obi-Wan. He could have preserved the Republic and fulfilled his destiny, not as a tyrant, but as a savior. The Grail represents what the dark side could never give him: the power to go back, to change it, to undo the fate that turned him into a monster. This war is not about domination. It is about one last chance to reclaim what he destroyed. Darth Vader also carries several personal skills. His first is Dark Side Mastery, ranked at A. He wields full control over the dark side of the Force, capable of using Force Choke, Saber Throw, advanced telekinesis, and precognition. Though he has lost all natural healing ability, his offensive power is overwhelming, fueled entirely by hate and willpower. Second is Mechanical Juggernaut, ranked at A. Vader's cybernetic body is immune to fatigue, pain, and most conventional damage. He does not tire, he does not bleed, and he does not hesitate. However, his systems are vulnerable to precise strikes or emotional destabilization, echoes of the man he once was. His third personal skill is Will of the Sith, ranked at B. Once Darth Vader locks onto a target, his resolve becomes nearly unshakable. He is especially resistant to attacks or abilities fueled by ideals such as hope, redemption, or justice, concepts he views as shattered illusions. As a Berserker class servant, Darth Vader possesses the following class skills. He has Mad Enhancement, ranked at B. While he retains his tactical intellect, his emotions are locked into a state of cold, controlled fury. This grants him a +1 boost to strength and endurance, but limits his flexibility and creativity in non-combat scenarios. He also possesses magic resistance, ranked at C. His cybernetic structure provides insulation against mental intrusion and biological interference, though spiritual and metaphysical attacks can still reach him. His noble phantasm is called Fall of the Chosen, Fortress of Ruin. It is classified as a reality marble anti-world noble phantasm ranked A, with a barrier range of up to 1 kilometer and targets all entities within the field. This noble phantasm activates when Vader releases the full psychic weight of his transformation, from prophesied savior to instrument of terror. Within this reality marble, the world becomes a warped hellscape of metal and ash, mirroring Mustafar, the site of his rebirth through flame. Screams echo through the air, broken droids twitch in molten shadows, massive engines churn with dark side energy, and the battlefield trembles under the weight of Vader's hate. Inside the reality marble, all force-based or magic-like abilities are suppressed or corrupted, except Vader's. Servants tied to emotions like hope, love, or redemption suffer a debuff to their core stats. Vader himself gains a +1 boost to strength, endurance, and force. Escape is nearly impossible without EX rank mobility or anti-reality marble abilities. This is not just a battlefield, it is Vader's internal world made real. The death of Anakin Skywalker crystallized into terrain. Within these burning walls, you do not merely fight Darth Vader. You relive the grief, the hatred, and the eternity he cannot escape. Caster. Going by the alias Darth Treya, this servant's true name is Kreia. She has been summoned into the Holy Grail War under the Caster class. Kreia was once a Jedi Master, then a Sith Lord, but ultimately she became neither. She rejected both orders and viewed betrayal not as weakness, but as revelation. As Darth Treya, she used deception and philosophy as weapons, mentoring the Jedi exile while secretly guiding galactic events to challenge the very foundations of the Force. In Kreia's eyes, the Force is a manipulative, amoral entity, a cosmic tyrant that must be questioned, if not dismantled. Her greatest weapon is not lightning or a lightsaber. It is her mind. She enters the Holy Grail War not for a wish, but to confront the structure of desire, belief, and destiny itself. To Kreia, the Grail War is another crucible, a theater in which truth may be exposed, the Force unraveled, and the illusions of all servants and masters brought to light. Her purpose is not conquest. It is philosophical annihilation. Her question: can meaning survive the Grail? Kreia also carries several personal skills. Her first is Force Enlightenment, dark and light, ranked at A. Having mastered teachings from both the Jedi and the Sith, she gains bonus effects when countering Force-based abilities or servants with rigid ideological alignments. Second is Philosophical Subversion, ranked at A. This skill allows her to erode the resolve, faith, or sense of purpose of her opponents. It is especially effective against servants who draw strength from honor, justice, or heroism. Her third personal skill is Unseen Strings, ranked at A. Kreia manipulates outcomes from behind the curtain, influencing master-servant relationships, battlefield decisions, and psychological momentum. In combat, she may control multiple lightsabers telekinetically, engaging opponents from unpredictable angles without ever drawing a weapon by hand. This skill is both mental and martial, proof that her will reaches beyond her body, turning space itself into her weapon. If left unchecked, she can completely rewire the flow of battle without ever engaging directly. As a caster class servant, Kreia possesses the following class skills. She has territory creation, ranked at A. She can establish a field or force nexus, such as a meditation chamber, where her mental abilities, presence, and interference are amplified. She also possesses item creation, ranked at C. Though she rarely relies on physical artifacts, she can create talismans, rituals, or symbolic objects designed to manipulate force energy or serve as philosophical traps. Her noble phantasm is called Wound in the Force. It is classified as an anti-spirit, anti-system, noble phantasm, with a rank of A, affecting an entire field-wide range and targeting all individuals within the zone. This noble phantasm manifests as a reality marble, a metaphysical projection of the wound in the force. Born from her rejection of cosmic order, it becomes a spiritual void where belief, power, and the very nature of connection begin to unravel. Within this domain, Zorse-based noble phantasms are suppressed. Powers rooted in conviction or ideology begin to falter. Servants may suffer spiritual instability and question their own purpose. This is not a blast or beam, it is conceptual decay, a collapse of faith, a battlefield of silence. Only those with absolute self-awareness or no spiritual tether remain untouched. All others are consumed in doubt. This noble phantasm is the echo of Kreia's greatest power, to make the strongest minds question why they fight at all. Lancer. Going by the alias the Phantom Shadow, this servant's true name is Darth Maul. He has been summoned into the Holy Grail War under the Lancer class. Darth Maul was the secret Sith apprentice of Darth Sidious, trained from childhood to become a living weapon of vengeance. A master of the double-bladed lightsaber and raw, unrelenting fury, he stunned the Jedi Order with his ferocity and precision. Though believed dead after his duel with Obi-Wan Kenobi, Maul survived, fueled entirely by hate. He re-emerged, built a vast criminal empire, and challenged both the Jedi and the Sith, forever marked by betrayal, rage, and obsession. His legacy is that of pain without peace, a storm that refuses to die. He enters the Holy Grail War with one singular purpose: revenge. Denied his destiny by Obi-Wan, discarded by his Sith master, and forced to crawl back from death itself, Maul sees the Grail as his final path to vindication. He will destroy the Jedi, the Sith, and the galaxy if that is what it takes to rewrite the fate he was denied. Darth Maul also carries several personal skills. His first is Zabrak physiology, ranked at B. Due to his species and brutal conditioning, Maul possesses enhanced durability, pain tolerance, and focus, granting him increased resistance and stamina in prolonged combat. Second is Hatred Unleashed, ranked at A. When facing past enemies or re-experiencing trauma, Maul's physical capabilities spike drastically. His strength, speed, and intensity increase in direct proportion to his rage. His third personal skill is martial savagery, ranked at A. This reflects his brutal and acrobatic fighting style, which fuses lightsaber combat with close quarters, hand-to-hand mastery. He overwhelms opponents not through elegance, but with sheer feral aggression. As a Lancer-class servant, Maul possesses the following class skills. He has magic resistance, ranked at C. Thanks to his Sith training and mental conditioning, he can resist force-based illusions and psychic manipulation, though spiritual interference may still affect him. He also holds battle continuation, ranked at A. Even when mortally wounded, Maul will continue fighting, driven purely by rage and willpower. He once survived being cut in half and endured years of suffering, sustained only by hate. That hatred is now his anchor in battle.
His noble phantasm is called Darkness Divided, the Twin Blades of Death. It is classified as an anti-unit noble phantasm, with the rank of A, close combat range, and targets 1 to 3 enemies. This noble phantasm is a manifestation of Maul's iconic double-bladed lightsaber, and the moment his life was split in two, between death and survival. When activated, Maul enters a hyper-aggressive trance in which each strike becomes faster, heavier, and more unpredictable. For a limited time, both his agility and strength increase by 1 rank. However, once the effect ends, his endurance sharply drops due to the toll on his body. This noble phantasm symbolizes the duality of Maul's entire existence, both weapon and wound. A killer forged from rage, and a ghost born of betrayal. Assassin. Going by the alias the Hunter of Hunters, this servant's true name is Cad Bane. He has been summoned into the Holy Grail War under the Assassin class. Cad Bane was the galaxy's most feared bounty hunter during the Clone Wars. After the death of Jango Fett, Bane stepped into the power vacuum, not as a successor, but as a predator. He did what others wouldn't. He fought Jedi without the Force, outsmarted Republic heroes, and escaped every trap with nothing but his gear, his wit, and his nerve. In a galaxy of lightsabers and chosen ones, Cad Bane was a reminder that precision, ruthlessness, and preparation could still win. Now, in the Holy Grail War, he hasn't come for ideals. He hasn't come for destiny. He came for the contract. And maybe the thrill of killing someone worth remembering. To Cad Bane, the Grail isn't sacred. It's just the highest bounty in the galaxy. Cad Bane also carries several personal skills. His first is Tactical Predator, ranked at A. He can read enemy behavior, terrain layout, and mental weaknesses at a glance. This gives him an edge when setting traps or engaging enemies who would otherwise overpower him. Second is Anti-Jedi Arsenal, ranked at B. Bane's loadout includes weapons designed specifically to neutralize Force users and close-quarters combatants. His arsenal features flash bombs, flamethrowers, electric gauntlets, cortosis rounds, and other tools tailored to exploit his target's vulnerabilities. His third personal skill is Unshakable Nerve, ranked at A. Cad Bane is immune to fear, mind games, and intimidation. Whether he's facing a Jedi Master or a heroic spirit, he approaches every duel like a contract, cold, calculated, and guaranteed to end quickly. As an assassin-class servant, Cad Bane possesses the following class skills. He has Presence Concealment, ranked at A. He can completely erase his presence until the moment he chooses to strike, making him ideal for sniping, infiltration, or silent executions. He also has Independent Action, ranked at A. Bane is a classic loner. He can survive and operate for extended periods without relying on a master's mana, giving him unmatched autonomy in the field.
His noble phantasm is called Deadeye of the Outer Rim, one shot, one kill. It is classified as an anti-unit noble phantasm, with a rank of B, a range of 3 kilometers, and targets a single individual. This noble phantasm is the pinnacle of Bane's craft, a perfect kill shot, constructed through days of tracking, planning, and precision. Once the name and face of a target are locked, Bane can initiate a shot that pierces magical, spiritual, or conceptual defenses. Only servants with X-rank defense or high-level misdirection can survive it. It can only be used once per war, but for Cad Bane, that's all he needs. Rider. Going by the alias Black Leader, this servant's true name is Poe Dameron. He has been summoned into the Holy Grail War under the Rider class. Poe is the son of 2 Rebel Alliance veterans and was raised among stories of rebellion, sacrifice, and hope. He rose to become the most skilled pilot of the Resistance, a symbol of fearless defiance against overwhelming odds. With unmatched X-Wing expertise, natural charisma, and a stubborn sense of justice, Poe carried the light of the Resistance through the galaxy's darkest moments. He fought alongside Leia Organa, Finn, and Rey, not for duty, but for belief. Though impulsive in his early years, Poe matured into a commander and a beacon of hope. In the Holy Grail War, he does not fight for conquest or power. He flies to keep others free. He enters the Holy Grail War to ensure that freedom does not die. Again, haunted by the fall of the New Republic and the rise of the First Order, Poe sees the Grail not as a wish, but as a mission. A final, unwinnable battle that he refuses to let end in defeat. Poe Dameron also carries several personal skills. His first is Ace of the Resistance, ranked at A. Poe's natural leadership and battlefield charisma boost the morale and coordination of nearby allies. When Poe takes the lead, allied long-range specialists perform with heightened precision and coordination under his command. Second is Combat Intuition, ranked at B+. He possesses near-supernatural reflexes and battlefield awareness, giving him an edge in ranged combat and any engagement involving vehicles or high-speed maneuvering. His third personal skill is Risk Breaker, ranked at A. When Poe is outnumbered or outmatched, he can temporarily increase one of his core parameters by 1 rank, once per battle. Where others would retreat, Poe pushes forward, often turning the tide by sheer will and instinct. As a Rider-class servant, Poe Dameron possesses the following class skills. He has Riding, ranked at A. Poe can pilot nearly any vehicle, starfighters, speeders, or walkers, with elite proficiency. His flight maneuvers are so advanced they appear impossible to observers. He also possesses magic resistance, ranked at D. Although he lacks force sensitivity, his sharp instincts and quick reactions grant him a limited resistance to illusion and psychic interference. His noble phantasm is called Black One. It is classified as an anti-army noble phantasm with a rank of A, a range of 1,000 meters, and targets up to 50 enemies. When activated, Poe summons his customized T-70 X-Wing, known as Black One. This version is enhanced with conceptual energy that represents the spirit and legacy of the Resistance. Once deployed, Poe leads a sweeping aerial assault, capable of bypassing tracking systems, targeting enemy command nodes, and crippling their infrastructure. This noble phantasm can only be activated when morale is high or when Poe is fighting to defend a just cause. When it takes flight, aerial dominance becomes absolute, a storm of precision, rebellion, and hope. Archer.
Going by the alias The Hunter, this servant's true name is Boba Fett. He has been summoned into the Holy Grail War under the Archer class. Boba Fett is the son of Jango Fett, an unaltered clone, raised to become the galaxy's most feared bounty hunter. Silent, brutal, and terrifyingly efficient, he built his reputation by tracking Jedi, warlords, and rebels across the galaxy. Though left for dead in the Sarlacc pit, he survived, clawed his way out, and reclaimed his legacy. Eventually, he seized Jabba the Hutt's throne on Tatooine, transforming himself from a mere weapon into a ruler. Beneath the armor lies not a clone, but a survivor, a man who defines his own destiny, one bounty at a time. He enters the Holy Grail War not for conquest or vengeance, but to reclaim and cement the legacy he was denied. For years, he was seen only as Jango's copy or the Empire's tool. Now, with his own code and throne, he seeks to prove that he's no imitation. He is the one who endured, evolved, and survived. To Boba Fett, the Grail is the final bounty, symbolic of his right to rule his story. Boba Fett also carries several personal skills. His first is Mandalorian Resurgence, ranked at A. He draws strength from his ancestral identity, granting him bonus defense, intimidation, and resolve in battles tied to honor or legacy. Second is Predator's Patience, at rank A. He is a master at stalking high-value targets. The longer he waits, the more precise and deadly his strike becomes, increasing hit rate and critical damage the longer he observes. His third personal skill is Modified Arsenal, ranked at A. Equipped with arm-mounted rockets, a flamethrower, grappling hook, and seismic charges, and a Beskar spear, Boba can adapt to any terrain or enemy with lethal efficiency. As an Archer-class servant, Boba Fett possesses the following class skills. He has independent action at rank A. True to the Archer class, Boba can operate without a master for extended periods. This is the result of a lifetime of self-reliance, forged in blood. He also holds magic resistance at rank C. He has limited resistance to force-based techniques, enhanced by his Mandalorian armor and intense combat conditioning.
His noble phantasm is called Slave One. It is classified as an anti-army noble phantasm, with a rank of A, a range of 200 to 1,000 meters, and targets up to 50 enemies. This noble phantasm unleashes a surprise bombardment using Boba's iconic starship, Slave One, raining destruction from above with seismic charges and precision laser blasts. It represents Boba's mastery of the long game. He hunts, marks, then obliterates. It can only be used once per war unless recharged by external mana.
This noble phantasm is not a flashy show of power. It is the calculated final strike of a patient predator who always finishes the hunt.
Saber.
Going by the alias Ben, this servant's true name is Obi-Wan Kenobi. He has been summoned into the Holy Grail War under the Saber class. Obi-Wan Kenobi is a warrior of the Republic, a paragon of Jedi ideals, disciplined, wise, and selfless. He rose from a humble Padawan to a legendary general during the Clone Wars, training Anakin Skywalker and later watching over Luke Skywalker in exile. Known for his defensive lightsaber form and quiet strength, Obi-Wan remained faithful to the Jedi Code, even in the galaxy's darkest hours. Though admired by many, Obi-Wan carries deep internal wounds, the fall of the Jedi Order, and his greatest failure, losing Anakin to the dark side. He enters the Holy Grail War with a quiet but unwavering hope, the hope to atone. Having failed to save the one he called brother, Obi-Wan sees the Grail as either a final chance to undo his deepest regret or the strength to finally accept it. Obi-Wan Kenobi possesses several personal skills. His first is Jedi Master, ranked at A. This represents his balance of wisdom, martial discipline, and moral restraint, granting him strong resistance to corruption and mental instability. His second is Soresu Form Mastery, ranked at A. He is a master of the third lightsaber form, a purely defensive style centered on patience, redirection, and survival. This gives him a significant advantage when protecting others or turning an opponent's aggression against them. His third skill is Mindful Presence, ranked at B. It sharpens his perception and enhances his composure, allowing him to remain calm and clear-headed, even in overwhelming situations. As a Saber-class servant, Obi-Wan holds the following class skills. He has Magic Resistance, ranked at B. Thanks to his Jedi mental conditioning, he can resist force-based mind control, dark side illusions, and psychic interference. He also holds Riding, ranked at C. He is a competent pilot of starfighters, speeders, and living mounts, though only to the degree expected of a Jedi Knight. His noble phantasm is called the High Ground. It is classified as an anti-unit noble phantasm, with a rank of A, a range of 1, and targets a single opponent. This noble phantasm is a conceptual weapon drawn from Obi-Wan's most defining moment, his fateful duel with Anakin Skywalker. If Obi-Wan holds a superior tactical position through terrain, stance, or combat rhythm, he may unleash a perfect, unblockable counterstrike. It cannot be activated freely or used multiple times. It only triggers in a climactic moment when it matters most. But when it does, it guarantees a decisive advantage, even against stronger foes. It symbolizes the triumph of patience over power, of restraint over rage, and of wisdom over wrath.
Now that all the servants have been summoned, let the Holy Grail War begin.